But that day, I broke all protocol. I burst into tears. It has never happened. I quickly rushed into the toilet. I cried. I remember I used to be a youth pastor somewhere, a youth leader somewhere. One of our youth, anytime we're having fellowship, she would be somewhere else. But the elderly one, we always join us. But she didn't join us. Year down the line, during the COVID, the mother just called me. That was several years after I've left the church to start the ministry. That so person left the husband. I should please intervene. So I called her. She came. Please listen to this message. It will not be your testimony. By the time she came, she looked like a woman in her 50s or 60s. And she was just 36. She was walking like somebody that's being remote control. And she sat down with me. I said she should tell me, I learned that you left your husband. Can you tell me your story? And she opened her mouth. She said, I can't talk, sir. But I will show you, I will demonstrate to you what happened. I won't tell you what happened. I will demonstrate to you. So she brought out her handkerchief like this and lay it on my table. Please look at me. She brought out handkerchief like this and lay it upon the table in front of me. I was looking at, just the way you were looking at me. I brought out this handkerchief so that you will always remember this story. Whenever you see handkerchief, you remember this story. So she laid it upon the table. Look at me. Every mother, listen to this. Very important. All the youth, listen to it. She now did like this. She removed her teeth and put it on the table. She did like this. Remove the second one and put it. And she looked 80-something years. I didn't know it our dental system that made her to look well. She wanted to talk. Saliva was coming out. Wow. I started ministry 1999. And one of our training is you don't release your emotion to counselee. No matter what, you just pretend as if it's not a big problem that you can. It's like when you see a doctor and the doctor begin to shout, hey, wahala re. The person will just die immediately. So no matter what, in fact, they taught us the principle of pen listening. Pen listening simply means when the person is talking, you are writing. It will not allow you. But that day, I broke all protocol. I burst into tears. It has never happened. I quickly rushed into the toilet. I cried. Washed my face, and I came out. I said, pick your teeth. Kilo shele. What happened? He said, that's what my husband did. I said, your husband? He said, yes. Kilo shele. Said he beat me. When I resisted him, he grabbed my head, took me to a wall, and began to hit my hand on the wall. Until the face collapsed, and all the teeth came out. In the name that is above every other name, all my youth, you will not marry a monster. I said you will not marry a monster. Gboro. Listen to us. The father of this young lady was a general overseer of a church. But they just started as at that period, they couldn't afford transport. So our own church was closer. So the father came to the church, asked for the youth leader, and handed over the 3 girls to me. The 2 girls listened to us. The 3rd one was nowhere to be found. 15 years later, that was the result. Some of you, youth, you are sitting down there, your mates are singing in the choir. You have never contributed anything to church and righteousness. And you feel, he doesn't do it that way. Some of you sit down on Twitter attacking us. You sit down on Twitter, on Instagram, attacking the house of your father. and you feel God will not recompense you, God will not reward you. Am I talking to somebody? I told the girl to restore the teeth. There wasn't anything we can really do. She said, everybody's saying, once I should return. Say, Pastor, I can't say you should return. Say, it's not in my mouth that I will say you should return. 3 months later, they called me. Guess what happened? She died. She died. That was the day I started writing this book. 101 foolish things you must never do as a girl, as a lady. Every mother, get this one for your daughter. 101 foolish things. I now put 80 true life stories of my journey with youth since 1994. I started ministry in 1999. I began leading youth from 1994. I put all the stories inside. The one that married a drunk and we won her. Anything more it's a do like music. Over genetic ni, over genetic. Muni genetic konleleji. Muno mo imu kini kan oni kan muti. Oloko ma mule kokan to ba pe lawon ore. Muni ewure. You are a sister called on campus. How can you marry a vagabond? But I understand. He promised me to change. All of you that want to marry somebody to comfort, you don't already comforter. When did you become a comforter? I will change him. He said he will be coming to Living Spring because of me. Don't allow him to come to Living Spring because of you. Let him come because he loves God. We are not deceived by that poem. I love you. You are the only tomato in my pepper. I will love you till ocean dry. Without you, my life will go anti-clockwise. Without you, my life will not go forward. You are the tomato in my pepper. You are the only constructor in my destruction, in the communication of my opposition. Without your attention of my affection, cannot go on into relationship of my emotion. I love you, baby. Look at your face. Your face is looking like the face of Agbani Darego. Your back is looking at the back of Beyonce. In fact, you yourself, you are walking like Lady Gaga. I love you, baby. I'm dying. If you don't marry me, I will just die. Brethren, is that love? What I just said now, is that love? What is that? A poem. That was a poem. Rise up. Rise up. Everything we are talking about, it will be over. Yes, I do. There is a day after the wedding, they call it marriage. There is a day after yes, I do, they call it what? Marriage. Yes. And immediately we drive you out of that gate. You say you are going to honeymoon. Many people get into the moon, they didn't find honey. They didn't find honey. And there's nothing we can do to help you again. But we can help you now. Don't marry by election. Don't marry by what? By election. Don't marry by selection. Election is everybody is talking. You see, when the choir was singing, somebody was carrying soprano and you are carrying bass. That's election. That's election. Everybody may like it, but do God like it? Does God like it? Then don't marry by selection. There are 23 foolish ways to get married. 23. I have a book there. And there are 23 wise ways to get married. There's another book there. I will reduce it for you so that many of you can go and get. Sit down. We listen. The pastor that raised me is even an illiterate pastor. He didn't go to school. But he taught us in his foolish way. This is what he gave to the world. In a CSC church. That's how he raised us. That's how he raised us. But we listen to him. Talk less of you being under apostle of intercontinental dimension. If you are listening to all these things every day, well, if you miss it, the hottest part of hellfire, no matter because you are the one.